Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody, where we take those headlines that make you go, huh, and we actually, dive in. So today we're going to be looking at some stuff going on in the crypto world.
Right.
We got one article that's talking about Bitcoin almost hitting a new all-time high.
Oh, wow.
And another article talking about this new stablecoin. It's called sUSD.
Oh, okay.
So get this, Bitcoin almost hit a new all-time high. We're talking this close, like right there.
Really?
And we got this new player in the game, this sUSD. It might change how you think about earning interest on that crypto.
Interesting.
So let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Bitcoin came this close to setting a new record. It reached $73,562.
Wow.
That's just $175 away from its all-time high.
It's getting up there.
So what's driving this surge? What's going on?
Well, I think what's really fascinating about this particular surge is that it's not just your average everyday retail investors, people just kind of jumping in on the hype. We're seeing big players like BlackRock and Fidelity.
Those are the big institutions, right?
These are huge names in traditional finance,
Yeah.
and they're launching Bitcoin ETFs.
Okay.
So this signals a major shift in how the old school financial world is viewing cryptocurrency.
So they're starting to see that maybe this is here to stay.
Exactly.
This isn't just a fad.
It's becoming more and more accepted as a legitimate asset class.
So what do you think's driven this?
Oh,
Why are they all of a sudden jumping in now?
it's a combination of things, really. You've got concerns about inflation. People are worried about their money losing value.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got geopolitical instability all over the world, which makes people nervous about traditional markets. And then on top of that, you've got a growing awareness of Bitcoin's potential as a hedge, kind of like a safe haven asset.
I mean, it kind of makes you wonder if Bitcoin hitting that new all-time high is really just a matter of time at this point.
It's hard to say for certain,
But
it seems like it's heading that direction.
yeah, the momentum is definitely there. But let's say it does hit a new all-time high. Does it just keep going up? Or is this like the peak before things maybe start to go down a little bit?
It's really impossible to predict what's going to happen. It's uncharted territory. But one thing to think about is that as these institutional investors get more involved, they're looking for ways to manage their risk. And that's where stablecoins come into the picture, especially stablecoins that have some unique features, like this sUSD we're going to talk about.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about sUSD. So it's a stable coin, right?
Yeah.
Which means it's supposed to hold its value. Pretty steady.
Right. Typically pegged to a stable asset like the US dollar.
Exactly. But sUSD is different, though. It's tied to US Treasury bonds.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique approach.
Yeah, so most stable coins, they're pegged to the US dollar.
Okay.
But we're not talking about holding actual dollars in a bank account somewhere.
No, not at all. sUSD is backed by a basket of these US Treasury bonds, so it's leveraging the stability and the creditworthiness of the US government. That's the idea.
Okay, so instead of just saying like one sUSD equals $1, they're saying one sUSD equals like a certain amount of US Treasury bonds.
Exactly. And this approach, it offers some potential advantages over some of the other stablecoin models out there.
Okay, like what?
Well, for example, you've got algorithmic stablecoins, which try to maintain their peg through algorithms, but they can be vulnerable to big price swings in the market.
That sounds kind of risky.
Yeah, it can be. And then you've got fiat-backed stablecoins, which are backed by actual reserves of US dollars. But they rely on centralized institutions to manage those reserves, which some people aren't comfortable with.
So sUSD, it's like trying to find that sweet spot where it's stable, but it's not too reliant on any one thing.
Right, it's trying to find that balance.
So with sUSD, you're basically getting the stability of a U.S. government-backed asset, but it lives in the crypto world.
Exactly.
So honestly, to me, the most interesting part of all this is that you can earn interest on it. You're telling me I can make money just by holding this sUSD?
Potentially, yes. sUSD holders automatically get interest payments. And those payments are made in USDC.
Which is another stablecoin.
Right, pegged to the US dollar. So the yield that you earn will change over time. But it's possible to earn a lot more than you would with a traditional savings account.
Okay, now you got me interested. But let's be real for a second. Higher returns usually mean there's more risk involved.
That's true. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
So what are the potential downsides here?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that the value of US Treasury bonds can fluctuate, just like any other investment. So if bond prices go down, that could affect the stability of sUSD.
Okay, so it's not completely risk-free.
Right. And while that U.S. government backing does provide some security, it's not a foolproof guarantee.
Yeah.
We also have to remember that this is still a relatively new asset class, and the rules and regulations around it are still evolving.
So it's like the Wild West out there.
In some ways, yes.
But even with those risks, it's pretty exciting to see how crypto's changing things.
I agree. It's definitely shaking things up.
We've got Bitcoin potentially going mainstream, with all these big institutions investing. And then we've got these stable coins, like sUSD, offering new ways to earn money within the crypto world.
It's fascinating to watch it all unfold.
It really is.
What's really interesting to me is how these developments are kind of blurring the lines between the traditional financial world and the decentralized world of cryptocurrency. sUSD is a great example because it makes investing in US Treasury bonds, something that used to be out of reach for most people, suddenly a lot more accessible.
Yeah, because usually you need a lot of money to buy into those bonds.
Exactly. But now anyone with a little bit of crypto can get exposure.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a whole new financial system.
That's a great way to put it. And it's happened right now.
So what do you think? Where does this all go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? As this new system evolves, I think the key question for everyone listening is this. How are you going to participate? Are you going to ride the Bitcoin wave? Are you going to explore these new stablecoin investments like sUSD?
Yeah.
Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and watch it all happen? The decisions you make today could have a big impact on your financial future.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
But that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
To help you navigate this crazy world of crypto. And hopefully make some smart decisions along the way.
To the moon.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
CR.